Hey everybody, this is Michael Sweet of Stryper.
This is Deanya Marie.
This is Cliff Beach.
I'm Mia Suzanne Walker from Suzanne's Band.
This is David Arkenstone. You're listening to The Sounds of Christmas
Podcast.
Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. This podcast episode is different from most of the others I've done. I'm not talking about Christmas music. Well, not directly. Instead, since this episode is going live on Christmas Eve, I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. That doesn't seem quite big enough, though. I started this podcast near the beginning of 2021 with no real idea what I was doing or if anyone would be interested in what I had to offer. After all, Christmas music and other related topics seems like a pretty small niche. Along the way, I met some really cool folks in the Christmas Podcast Network who all do a wide variety of podcasts, all dedicated to some aspect of this season that we all love. It's been fun being a part of this group, and I've been fortunate to have even been able to have some of them on this podcast over the last few years, and I've been honored to have been invited onto some of theirs. And I look forward to all of that continuing into 2026. I also want to thank the artists that have advertised on the Sounds of Christmas station or given their time to appear on episodes of this podcast, and in many cases, both. Those include Liz Kennedy, Muireann O'Mahony from Celtic Woman, Cliff Beach, Dan Ashley, Bob Soroyce, Michael Sweet from Stryper, Melanie Day, Olivia Van Gore, Kenny Nolan, James Robert Webb, Kevin Scott Hall, Deanya Marie, Linda Imperial, Luminar Christmas, Michelle Malone, David Arkenstone, fans of Jimmy Century, Judith Owen, Kenny Davies, Lori Berkner, Suzanne from Suzanne's Band, and The Hound and the Fox. You've had the chance to meet most of those singers and musicians in the last couple months of episodes, and one of the things I usually talk to singers and musicians about is being categorized as this kind of performer or that kind, and how the industry likes to put artists in boxes, even though there are multiple genres that they love and perform in. I'm sure that applies to all of us, too. Even though you're listening to this podcast right now, there are probably more things that you love about Christmas than just the music. So I encourage you to check out some of those artists that I mentioned and invite them to help you further enjoy the season. Mostly, though, I want to thank you. Thanks for listening to this podcast and for listening to the Sounds of Christmas station. And while I don't usually like to talk about numbers, this podcast hit a milestone recently as we went over 500,000 downloads and streams. Thank you so much for that. As I mentioned earlier, when I started this podcast, I wasn't even sure if anyone besides me and maybe my mom would listen. It is really amazing to find that there are so many others that love Christmas music so much they want to listen to conversation with others who also love Christmas music, talking about, for the most part, Christmas music. And I am so beyond grateful for that. I'm recording this episode on Christmas Eve, and there are thousands in the United States listening to the Sounds of Christmas station right now, as well as thousands more in 83 other countries. Wow. When I first got into traditional radio and was working on Christmas Day at my first station, 2 shifts on that day that totaled 18 hours, it was kind of a thrill to get to feel like I was playing music that was a part of so many other people's celebrations and observations of the holiday. And now I'm lucky enough to get to do that again. In fact, this is the end of the 19th season of the Sounds of Christmas, so I've been lucky enough to be able to do that for a long time now. And I still get that feeling, that warm, Christmassy feeling that means I'm getting to spend at least a part of the Christmas season with you and with so many all over the globe. Thank you for that too. I started the Sounds of Christmas station with the idea that there was just so much great Christmas music out there, and so little of it was actually getting played on traditional radio. Maybe some other Christmas music fans would like an alternative where you really got to hear the best variety of Christmas music. And now, season after season, I get to share the Christmas music I love with so many others who love it too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas and that 2026 is your best year yet. And I hope you always believe in Santa Claus.